Hey everyone, the video you're about to watch is my in the bag video for the Scott Stokely Tour Series Marvel from Birdie Disc Golf. Now, some of you may have noticed I have yet to do an in the bag video for my Tour Series harp, which is currently available at scottstokely.net, and it's a staple of my bag and my game. I love this disc. The reason I did not do an in the bag video yet is that I mistakenly released this disc the same time as Ricky's Tour Series harp. Now, as much as I enjoy competing against Ricky on the golf course, with that big announcement switching to dynamic discs, remember the helicopter? I didn't want to compete against him in the marketplace, so I held off for a few weeks on my in the bag video for the harp, but you have my word. The harp in the bag video is coming out in a few weeks, and you can buy this now at scottstokely.net. Hey everyone, I'm Scott Stokely, and this is my in the bag video for the Birdie Disc Golf Supply Marvel in the Scott Stokely Tour Series, which, by the way, is in a stiff, firm blend that you can only get in my Tour Series disc. It's a special blend of the Marvel. This is going to be a bit of a longer in the bag video, but there's a bunch to unpack here, and it's all relevant. So here we go. So first off, this disc is going to be available. It's really windy out here. This disc is going to be available on April 8th at scottstokely.net. April 8th, 2022. So if it's not that date yet, that's coming up Saturday. But if it's after April 8th, 2022, they'll be in my store. Go to scottstokely.net to purchase my Tour Series Marvel. Different colors, not just pink. All right, so a couple things. Number one, it's a putt and approach, and I need to address both of those separately because it's two completely different types of shots. Also, it's a beadless putt and approach. I'm going to explain why that's relevant and the difference between beaded and non-beaded discs as well, because I want you to make an informed decision. I want you to buy this disc if it's going to be one that you're going to like. But first, I got to tell the story about how I ended up putting this disc in my bag. I think it's kind of funny. So I had announced, I'm going to be throwing a mixed bag. I'm going to pick the best discs. I don't care about the manufacturer. Whatever's going to give me the best chance of success on tour, that's going in my bag this coming year. That was last year when I was announcing this. And Birdie Disc Golf Supply contacted me. And they said, hey, we got a brand new disc coming out. It's called the Marvel. We would love to have it in your bag. It's a beadless putt and approach. It's awesome. And I said, no, not going to put the Marvel in my bag. The reason why was because even though I am just picking the best discs, I need to sell these Tour Series discs. I mean, the tour is expensive. I am doing all this special needs work. I'm donating my prize money. I got to make money somewhere. I mean, I'm doing seminars and clinics, make money. But when you put your face on a Tour Series discs, you make a couple bucks every time a disc sells. I needed to at least have a moderately established manufacturer. There was no built-in audience of Marvel throwers out there that are going to buy Scott Stokely versions of the Marvel. So I said, thank you, but the Marvel's not going in my bag. And Derek says, well, let me just send you some anyways to try out. And I said, well, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money. I appreciate it. I'm not going to be putting this disc in my bag. And he says, well, just give me an address. I don't care. So he sends me the discs. And out of respect for the fact that he took the time to do it, I said, well, I'll just go give him a throw. I went out to throw them. And within about 5 minutes, I was like, ah, shit. They're good. Like, they're really good. And in fact, there is a specific type of shot that they are better than any other disc I had been auditioning. It needs to go in my bag because my number one priority is winning on the Pro Tour once this year. Oh, great. Well, maybe I just won't sell that many of them, but it's going in my bag. I contacted him. I said everything about it's great, but I needed a stiffer version of, and he agreed to make a blend of firm plastic for me for this specific type of shot. So the Tour Series, Scott Stokely Tour Series Marvels are the only ones you can buy in this stiff blend. Now, here's what this disc does better than anything else that I had tried. It's an approach disc for me, and everyone knows that I throw the Berg for my standard approach shots, but you don't just have one approach disc. You have some approaches that are, that turn left, that turn right. Well, if if the shot only goes a little bit left and right, I still throw the Berg for that, and I certainly throw the Berg for short approaches. But a beveled edge approach disc will fly farther. So if the Berg doesn't fly far enough, then I need to up a disc, up the speed a little bit, beveled disc. But also if I need a disc to fly farther to the right or farther to the left, the Berg kind of goes up and down. It's what's great about it. But that doesn't always get you around obstacles to the target. When I started playing with this disc and I started throwing backhand anhyzers, that anhyzer will glide more to the right, certainly than the Berg, and certainly more than any disc that you would throw a sidearm hyzer with. A slight right turn, it's a sidearm. That's the natural flight of the disc. But that disc fades into the ground, the Berg anhyzers into the ground, this disc glides. I will demonstrate and we'll do our best to get this on camera, but if I'm now watch this thing glide to the right. Look at this thing. Look at it. Look at it. That is sick. That is absolutely sick. Now, a shot that glides that much, that is not your standard approach shot. But that shot comes up all the time in disc golf, especially when trying to get out of trouble. Let me rephrase that. It comes up all the time on open courses. You got to get around a giant obstacle. In the woods, that comes up multiple times around. That's a necessary shot in the game. This is the disc I'm going to be throwing on my anhyzer approach shots when I need the disc to carry more to the right than my Berg will. That's what it is for me for approach shots. Now, I said I would address putting and the beads. Interesting situation on the putting. I've just been putting out videos that up until a few weeks ago, I was pretty much set on the Berg as a putter. I'm going to be experimenting with different putters, and in my experiment is going to be the Marvel, along with a bunch of other putters as well. I typically haven't putted with beadless putters myself, so I don't know, but in the spirit of science, I'm going to include it and get some numbers. If it turns out that I'm making more putts with it, I'll be using it. But I'm going to try it and beta test it as a putter. Now, the question of beads. So when you're talking about the bead on a disc, which is typically on the putter, if you look at the Marvel, it comes down to a sharp point at the end. You take a disc like the Judge, if you look down, I'll move it around so you can try to see it, it has a little extra bit of plastic on the bottom there. That's the bead. There's basically beadless discs like the Marvel, there are beaded discs like the Judge, and then there's semi-beaded discs like the EMAC Judge or other discs. This can be confusing, especially if you're a newer player. Get it out of your head, first and foremost, that this is what's going to make the disc fly a certain way. I mean, certainly two identical discs, one with a bead, one without, are going to fly differently, but you can't automatically say with a bead it changes the disc this much, because there's so many different things that determine the flight characteristics of a disc. You can have an overstable, stable, or understable beaded disc. Same for beadless, same for semi-bead. Beads are about feel. Beads are 100% about what feels best in your hand. This is the same rule that applies to putters in general. I'll put a link down below, but there's no such thing as the correct putter. You need a clean release, a consistent release. That is not going to be the identical disc for every person. You can't look at your favorite player and say, they putt that, that's what I should putt. You cannot do that. You can kind of do that with some of the drivers if you throw as hard as them. Not with putters. Putters is individual. Finger length, finger flexibility, finger shapes, hand shapes. I mean, we're all different. I am going to be throwing this beadless disc for my anhyzers. I don't know why, except when I test it, this is the release I'm getting, that when I'm throwing the disc closer to flat, a semi-bead works better for me. And on the hyzer, a beaded disc works better for me. I'll be making in the bags about those videos next. Again, this is not a rule that says this is the formula for beadless versus beaded. This is the rule for me and me alone. You have to try it out yourself. But if you do like beadless putt and approach discs, the Marvel is sick as a putter, and just based on the flight of the disc, for that anhyzer shot that will continue to glide in the direction of the anhyzer turn, like this disc has no equal. I love the Marvel. I love it so much. I'm putting my face on a disc that I probably won't make a whole lot of money with because there's not a Marvel audience out there buying it. I don't care. It's in my bag because it's that damn good. You can go to scottstokely.net, buy the Stiff Blend Marvel from Birdie. I could not endorse this disc more. The harp video's coming out next, but I really hope you all give this a shot. And again, if you like beadless putters, like this is a good disc. I've never lied to any of you ever. This disc is great. This is going to be a winner. Congratulations, Birdie. You're going to be wildly successful with this disc once everybody figures out how awesome it is. Thanks, everyone.